Hello, eBEFOREi video reviews here to bring to you today a review of Transformers Prime Deluxe Class Hotshot. Now this is a repaint of the Transformers Prime Robots in Disguise Bumblebee, but you can see that the way that this thing is painted that, I'll tell you, I'm not usually the biggest fan of repaints. I'm just not. Think about it. I paid my hard-earned money, well, sort of hard-earned money, to purchase these things. And the last thing I want is a toy with a fresh slab of paint, and guess what? They got your money. They didn't put much effort into it, and they got you. But in this case, this is the one case that I think I'm going to make an exception. And I'll tell you why. I was not really a big fan of the Bumblebee figure in this line. Now, the first edition, I thought that was a great figure. But the Robots in Disguise Bumblebee toy, to me, it just didn't really cut it for me. But it's completely different, and it actually works with this figure right here. And we'll go into this here in a few minutes as to why I think that's the case. Looking at the car up close, you can see the paint detail is really pretty strikingly nice. The door has some sparkle into the paint. Actually, the whole car does. So that looks really good. You got some marbling here in the plastic, but it looks okay. You've got the designs here in yellow, and the flame on the sides, yellow to orange. No paint in the wheels. But on the back, you do get the taillights, and that's appreciated. I like that. Now, here's Bumblebee. And I have to tell you, the Bumblebee car, at least in vehicle mode, I might have to give the nod to Bumblebee here. Because again, it really just captures the way that this toy looks on the television show. Paint looks great. You've got the yellow, which pops real nice. You don't get the back taillights painted on Bumblebee, and you do on Hotshot. So again, you got to give the paint edge here, especially with the nice design. I do like the sparkle in the paint. I'm sure there's a better name for it than sparkle, but you can tell me what it is in comments. But I like the way that this guy's painted, but I like the color scheme of Bumblebee better on the vehicle. Now, robot modes are a completely different matter. Let's go ahead and walk through transformation. It's real easy. So that's the nice thing about these figures, is that this it's actually pretty simple to the point where even a goof like me can do it. Now, I will say that this guy also comes with some weapons. Same as Bumblebee, you've got these two sets of arm cannons, which can actually combine on top of each other. They peg right in here. Just like that, and you can stick them right here on top of the hood. Now, I've mentioned in a previous review that I'm not a fan of weapons on top of cars, and I'm still not. So yeah, I don't really love this look. I guess if you want to make it different, you can separate it so you can have this crazy berserker cannon going thingy. Okay, got it. So, and I'll never make that noise again. So, it's good. I prefer this not to be on. Robot mode's a different matter. But in vehicle mode, decent car, nice enough. Give the nod to Bumblebee. But robot mode is where this toy shines, where this one falls a bit short. Okay, to transform him, this is a very, very simple car to turn into robot. We're going to first kind of stick your nail in here and bring these pieces down on the side. These are his arms. So go in there and pull those down like that. Next, you're going to open the doors. Sometimes they peg in pretty well. Just give it a good, right like that, and make that noise when you do it. And then you want to come around and grab the feet or the back of the car, and you want to pull that whole thing down. Okay, just like that. You've exposed his legs. You want to separate like that. Then what you want to do is you want to go ahead and reveal the head by popping out this section here, pulling this back a bit, and you start to pull it and you have an auto morph gimmick here. So as you move the arms back, you'll see the head start to pop forward. Now, I give full credit to Piog on this one, where the head doesn't sit back the right way unless, as you start to open, you give this head just a little bit of a push. And then as you open up the arms, you're going to get it snug, real nice and tight. Come back around to the back, and sometimes, you know, I've seen people forget to do this a lot. Take this back piece and flip it open, or flip it shut, just like that, so that you get a nice clean look in the back. And there's actually, just like in Bumblebee, but since I haven't video reviewed Bumblebee, I'll take my time on this one. You've got this little peg. I don't know if you can see that, but you've got a peg right there, and that is going to go into that slot right there. So just kind of push it in. It's not going to snap or anything. Or give, oh. It's not going to do what it just did, but yeah, so I guess it will snap. That'll let you know that it's in there the right way. And at this point, you just start to pose out the arms. Get the head turned up correctly. And get him in standing position. Standing position. And here you have Hotshot in his robot mode. Now, the thing that I really, really like about this guy, in robot mode specifically, is just the colors on him look fantastic. I mean, they really, really do look good. You've got this orange paint on the arms. You've got orange on the shoulder blades. The interesting thing, and I think they did a great job with this, and I think it's on purpose, but it hides the yellow bit on this flame on the side. So when his shoulders expand, all you see on the doors are the orange flames that match the orange paint here. So then the yellow, yeah, you still got yellow on the top of the hood, which kind of sort of matches head crest. But the orange is the theme, orange and blue. And I don't mean like, you know, I'm going to go eat an orange. I mean, it's like burnt orange, just a really, it's a color that pops against the dark blue. So again, I love the paint on this character much more than I do Bumblebee, albeit I enjoyed Bumblebee better in his vehicle mode. Here in robot mode, the Hotshot gets the win here. Now, let's talk about his head. And I said that like I don't like it. I love this guy's head. So he, by default, when you transform this toy for the first time, he's got this very, very cool, like goggles, like robot goggles. And it almost looks like his mouth is that jaggedy thing at the bottom. So he's really, really kind of... You know, when I saw pictures, I kind of thought this looked goofy, but in person, it kind of looks a bit menacing. It's an Autobot, but it looks a bit menacing. But what's interesting is that thing that looks like his mouth is really just like a chin guard, because you can lift the goggles and reveal his mouth. So again, I think that is very, very cool. I love the head sculpt on this guy. And it's completely a different molded head than Bumblebee. There's nothing the same here. No piece of plastic carries over on the head sculpt. So you got a brand new head on Hotshot, and he's got essentially two different, completely different looks to him. Now, also in this mode, what you get is really, really good light piping, and I hope this shows up. Let's see if we can get that to show up here. I've got just major bright lights in this room. Let me shut the lights down here. There you can see his light piping pretty well. So the reason I'm showing you this, besides the fact that light piping is cool, is because his eyes are actually not those silver things that might look like his eyes at first glance. Those are his eyebrows. Robot eyebrows. I don't know what a robot needs eyebrows for, but who cares? It looks awesome. So yeah, he's got some very cool light piping there. And now, does it work with does it work with this down, with his goggles? I don't see why it wouldn't. Yes, it does. Oh man, that's cool. That is cool, guys. Very, very neat. So yeah, this guy scores major points over the Bumblebee in robot mode. As I mentioned, he comes with the same arm cannons as Bumblebee. Now, standing on the shelf, the fact that these two figures are identical molds, I hate putting the weapons on in the same exact way. So with this guy, what I tend to do, and again, this is your preference, not just mine, but what I do is I pin these two together, and I pick a single arm, and I put them on one arm. To me, that just kind of sets this character apart from the way that Bumblebee is displayed on my shelf. So again, you do what you want to do, but that's the way that I like to keep him displayed, and I think it looks great. Now, to compare him with Bumblebee, the one reason that I did not like the Bumblebee character is this piece that sticks up in the back. I hate that, because the model on the show doesn't have that, okay? And I know these toys aren't always accurate, I get that, but this thing just bugged the heck out of me. Now, he has it too. He's got the same thing, but because it's dark, it doesn't bother me. This yellow portion on the top of his head kind of distracts you and detracts from this big thing that's coming up in the back. So, and even when you put his goggles up, then I think the goggles kind of distract from it. So, on this guy, I don't mind this at all, not one bit. But on Bumblebee, that always drove me nuts. Plus the fact that there was another mold, the first edition of Bumblebee, that got away without using this. I mean, this one just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. This one, not so much. I don't mind that at all. Going around on this character, just to see what he looks like from all sides. Pretty sleek. Not too bad. Yeah, like this guy. Now, talking about articulation. His head is on a ball joint. He can look up and down and all around. Yeah. His doors, of course, are on a hinge. So you can display him a bit different. If you really want to set him apart from Bumblebee, throw those doors in a bit, but I like him like that. His arm, again, 360 on the arm. He's got a ratchet joint in his elbow, which ratchets up and down. He's got hand movement, I think. No, yeah, he does, doesn't he? I thought that this figure had hand movement, but looking at it up close, I could have sworn that hand moved. But it's one piece of plastic, so it's not moving. It's not going to move. Yeah, so there's that. He's got some nice detail in here in his abdomen area. Lots of nice molded plastic. Ball joint for the legs. Swivel on the knee. My knees are already getting loose on my figure. Not crazy about that. I'll have to maybe put some glue down there. But that's the case with a lot of these figures these days. They just get loose. They just get too loose. So there's Hotshot. I definitely do highly recommend you pick this figure up if you see him in retail. Bumblebee? I don't know. I mean, I have a first edition Bumblebee here. And I know this isn't a Bumblebee review. But when you compare Bumblebee with his first edition, this is the New York Comic Con counterpart, but it's still first edition mold. There's no comparison for me. But that is why I would recommend that if you're going to get a Bumblebee, hunt down a first edition. You can actually get a first edition Bumblebee on Amazon for fairly cheap. I think around 20 some odd bucks. So not too bad at all. So don't recommend him, do recommend Hotshot. That is all I have to say. So thank you again for watching. Again, eBEFOREi Reviews, brand new channel. Please subscribe, tell your friends about this if you like it. Do you have any suggestions for me? Leave them in comments. I love hearing from each and every one of you, so thank you again very much for your support. We'll see you next time.